tariffs, which went into effect on Canadian and Mexican imports on Tuesday. Meanwhile, farmers across America say that they're preparing to face higher costs with already low crop prices. And in his address to Congress on Tuesday night, even President Trump conceded that things could, in the short term, become more expensive.
Our new trade policy will also be great for the American farmer. I love the farmer. The tariffs will go on agricultural product coming into America, and our farmers, starting on April 2nd, it may be a little bit of an adjustment period. We had that before when I made the deal with China, $50 billion of purchases, and I said, just bear with me, and they did. They did. Probably have to bear with me again, and this will be even better.
Bear with him, the president says. An adjustment period, he goes on to say as well. Well, many American farmers have been here before. US tariffs slapped on Chinese products in President Trump's first term led to China refusing to buy major US agricultural exports such as wheat or soybeans. And the government ended up paying out tens of billions of dollars in support to farmers over the first few years of the president's first term. Well, joining me now is the founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association, John Boyd Jr., who's a fourth-generation farmer. Welcome to The Context. Bear with me, President Trump says. What do you make of that?
Well, farmers don't have the time that the president is speaking about and talked about last night in his joint message to Congress. It's planting season, and the president, with the announcement of the tariffs, has painted a cloud of uncertainty for America's farmers. Many here in the United States don't have the income. I sold my whole soybean crop last year for $9 a bushel. And since the president announced the tariffs, prices has plummeted here in the United States for corn, wheat, and soybeans. So the president says, bear with him. And the last time we did that, soybeans went from $16.80 a bushel all the way down to less than $6 a bushel. And he's bargaining and playing with the American farmers' lives. So it's really a trade war, and it's really a war on America's farmers that the president is announcing and moving full steam ahead with.
The president would argue that he is doing this to, in the longer term, protect America's interests.
Well, he tried it before with China, and nothing's really happened. As I just told you, here in the United States last year, I sold my whole soybean crop for $9 a bushel. And the tariffs that the president is imposing on Canada and China is the number one purchaser of U.S. grown soybeans. Mexico is the number one purchaser of U.S. grown corn. So the very people that he says he wants to help are the very people that he's hurting. And the American people are going to pay when they walk into local stores and supermarkets around the country. The American people are going to be the one to pay for this trade war that the president has started with everybody.
And you mentioned the first term and how that impacted you. Of course, in the end, money ended up being paid out. Just reflect on that and what you would say to the president about the biggest lessons he needs to take into account from that first attempt.
Well, the biggest lesson especially from the National Black Farmers Association, many of our members didn't receive a dime of the proposed payout or the actual payout that went out to America's farmers. We wouldn't even make up 1% of the actual payout that went out. Many black farmers are not on grid. We have our own lawsuit. The president said, and I heard him say very clearly that he loved America's farmers, but he won't return the land that came from black farmers and board versus the U.S. government. So he says these things, but on the other tail end of the coin, we out there hurting and we're facing foreclosure. We have poultry farmers that can't get chicken contracts, and we have eggs at the highest levels in history. So the president is saying all these things, but when we, at the end of the result, we're not getting the money. So we can't depend on the government, the very people that mistreated us, to say, hey, I'm going to turn to the government to to help America's farmers. It's a losing solution for America's farmers.
OK, thank you so much for sharing your thoughts. John Boyd Jr., founder and president of the National Black Farmers Association in the United States.